What if happiness is just a nice sounding story we tell ourselves so we don't panic? What if everything you're chasing, money, love, success, experiences, isn't really happiness, but just temporary drugs, covering a hole you're too afraid to look at? If that's true, how would you live differently? Picture another sleepless night. You're lying in bed, eyes still open. Your hand scrolling your phone on autopilot. On the screen are smiling faces. People traveling, buying houses, buying cars. Showing off perfect relationships, luxury meals, dream lives. Somewhere in there, you see the usual lines. If you just work hard, you'll be happy. Once you get X, you'll be okay. But deep down, there's a quiet voice. If I get all of that, what happens to this emptiness I feel now? What if the happiness everyone talks about is just a band-aid on a wound that never really heals? From early on, we're taught a very simple formula. Study hard, get a good job, make good money, start a family, be happy. But reality looks more like this. Once I get into that school, I'll be happy. You get in, it feels empty again. Once I make that salary, I'll be happy. You reach it. You adapt. Now you want more. Once I find a partner, I'll be happy. You get into a relationship. You're still anxious, still afraid, still feeling incomplete. Happiness is always somewhere ahead of you, never where you're actually standing. It's like you're running on a treadmill. You're moving, but you're not getting anywhere. And eventually, a brutal question appears. What if the problem isn't that I'm not trying hard enough, but that the idea of happiness they sold me was wrong from the start? Here's a psychological truth that's hard to swallow. Your brain was not designed for being happy forever. It was designed for survival. That means it's very good at spotting danger, lack, and risk. It's used to noticing problems more than it notices what's already okay. You adapt incredibly fast to what you have. The thing that excites you today will feel normal very soon. This is called hedonic adaptation, a kind of immunity to pleasure. You buy a new phone. For a few weeks it feels amazing. Then it just becomes my phone. You fall in love. At first your heart races, everything feels, wow. Then your brain gets used to it. Things go back to normal. So you need another hit, a new goal, a new experience, a new achievement, a new person, to push your dopamine up again. The loop, want, get, adapt, bored, want something new, keeps repeating, until you're exhausted. If you look honestly at your own behavior, most of the time you're not chasing lasting happiness. You're chasing little highs. One more notification. One more like. One more purchase. One more trip. One more person's attention. Each time, your brain gets a reward. But like any addiction, the old dose stops working. You need more, stronger, faster. Even worse, the society around you makes money by keeping you in this state of almost enough, but never quite enough. Ads, social media, shiny lifestyles. They all whisper, you'll be happy if you just get this one more thing. But that if never ends. So maybe the happiness people talk about is just a pretty word wrapped around a loop of feeling lacking, filling it temporarily, feeling lacking again. Some old philosophers had a pretty harsh view. Some said, happiness is having fewer desires, not adding more stuff into your life, but needing less from it. Others suggested, you shouldn't build your entire life on the feeling of being happy, because it's fragile, unstable, and depends on too many things you can't control. Instead, they focus on calm, acceptance, the ability to stand inside your pain without letting it completely devour you. It sounds much less exciting than follow your happiness, but it's more honest. For a life full of risk and loss, let's assume this temporary hypothesis. Happiness, as in a long-lasting, stable, always positive emotional state, almost doesn't exist. So what's the raw truth underneath? It might look like this. Life is a mix of joy, sadness, boredom, pain, emptiness, and ordinary moments. No emotion sticks around forever. Demanding yourself to be happy all the time only makes you suffer more. Because you're fighting against your own nature. In that sense, happiness might not be a mountaintop you climb and stay on forever. It's more like small, scattered moments between long stretches of tiredness and meaninglessness. A joke during a shift at work. A simple meal with someone you feel safe with. A day when you don't have to wear a mask around anyone. Those things are not pretty enough for social media, but they're often what keeps you from falling apart. Let's try a backwards idea. Imagine that tomorrow, you drop the goal of, I must be happy. No, I must be positive. No, I must love my life. No, I must feel amazing about myself. You're left with a few simpler questions. What things, even if they don't make me feel high, make my life at least bearable? What things, even if they don't make me grin, make me hate myself a little less? What things, if I repeat them every day, might not bring happiness, but might bring consistency and a bit of peace? Maybe it's a decent job, even if it's not your passion. An honest relationship, even if it's not a movie. A small hobby you keep doing, even when nobody praises you for it. Maybe the real question isn't, how do I become happy? Maybe it's, how can I live in a way that even if happiness comes and goes, I still don't completely fall apart? Happiness, if it shows up, can be like good weather. You open the door, step outside, and enjoy it while it lasts. But when the sky turns gray again, when it rains, when it's freezing, you still need a place to stay, something to do, some reason to keep going. That thing might not be called happiness. It might be responsibility, duty, compassion, curiosity, or something as simple as, I want to see how this all turns out. So if happiness, the way it's advertised, is just a comfortable lie, then maybe the most honest thing you can do is not to smile louder, not to be more positive, but to look straight at this chaotic life and ask, out of everything I could do, what is worth enduring the exhaustion, the boredom, and even those completely numb days, just to keep going? Happiness, if it comes, will just be a side effect, not the main goal. If tomorrow you stop believing that you have to be happy, what would you stop trying so hard to do, and what would you quietly choose to keep in your life?